So there's obviously a lot the about the infrastructure bill. So Bill O'Reilly, infrastructure Bill O'Reilly calls into Glenn Beck's show, who he is apparently, I guess, doing his show from the set of Magnolia Farms' kitchen set or whatever. Like, what kind of bullshit? What are those? I know you've got antique. What kind of house is? Look at all the goddamn drawers in this thing. You have two gourds, two boxing gloves from 1927, and on top of, and this has got to be a full sculpture, on top of two matching blue suitcases from the 20s, and this like a painting of a native chief in a window. It's just wrong to set up your television studio in the business center of a spa in New Mexico. I'm just saying. Blueberry Bunyan. I just deleted Glenn Beck from my feed. You just can't? Yeah. No, it's not a Zoom background. It's his actual house. And I don't know what the shit he's drinking. It looks like a can of motor oil. We'll see. Okay, hold on. That's a different. Bangino.
Start with the $2 trillion American.
Excuse me. No. Trump asked for a $2 trillion one. Biden's is 2.25 minimum.
Jobs plan.
It might even be higher.
Plan.
When we're done. We'll let you know.
This is great. Don't you love it?
I should copy his set for my show. Right. Do I have to wear denim, though? I bet he's wearing jeans right now. Like wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
Really good.
Yeah, I love it.
So now we're in.
That's his studio, and he's not there. Why are you cutting to the ass shot of him?
Full
Where is he?
Socialism mode.
Okay, we're in full socialism mode. Remember
and
that.
I was telling my audience on BillO'Reilly.com the other night, I said, look, there's a delineation between Americans who seek information, those who are listening to us right now.
Yeah, that's what we do. I was seeking information, not fodder to take a giant dump on.
And those who have the headphones on listening to Puff Daddy.
Yeah, that's the two people in the world. People who listen to Bill O'Reilly and Glenn Beck and black people. That's basically, and they're symbiotes and sycophants in the white community. And people who are listening to Puff Daddy, he doesn't even go by Puff Daddy anymore, does he? Isn't he Diddy now? What?
Okay.
Okay. That is funny. It's great.
There's a delineation.
There's a line between people who listen to Bill O'Reilly and Glenn Beck and people who listen to Puff Daddy. He has a coin that when he meets somebody, he flips it like in No Country for Old Men. If it lands on Puff Daddy, he gives them $30 million and grabs their ass.
All right. So you have,
all right,
I would say half the American public
listens to Puff Daddy,
actually absorbs some information in their lives, and half doesn't.
Some. Yeah, some. The rest of them are, yeah. But most of them are dumbass. They're not smart like you and me, Bill.
Yes.
Yeah. But you got, maybe 100 million adults who have no blanket idea what's happening. No.
Yeah. Got 100 million morons out there. You know what I mean? And have you seen this Q doc?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. This is what the far left.
Mike says conservatives are hilarious. They use $10 words. They're 10-cent praise, not understanding the words mean. Right. And not understanding what the words mean. Scrolled by. There it is. What the words mean or why they're actually being used. Cancel culture. Yeah, exactly. Socialism.
Far left depends upon it.
Yeah, it does. We on the far left depend on people having insular, unworldly lives because it's easier to make people like people of other races when they never meet them.
They depend on those people.
Those people. He'd say you people, but he's not. He's talking to Glenn.
To just knee jerk and put in the politically correct.
Well, excuse me, that's not knee jerk. If you listen to Puff Daddy, you would know that is just dancing. That's anybody who listens to him.
Crew. But now we're in full socialism mode.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's 3 buttons to get it, and it's like X, 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 left trigger, and then you have to push down on the right joystick to get in full socialism mode. I did not know that. I had to go to Biden's website and watch Hunter's videos on YouTube about, the Socialism Gamergate.
All right. So I have in front of me, Beck, because I always I want to be well informed on the Glenn.
Yeah. Okay. What do you have in front of you that helps you be well informed, Bill?
Glenn Beck program, The Fusion of Enlightenment and Entertainment. I want to be very, very well informed. I have in front of me where
starting when
all of this money is supposed to go. Do you know that there is $10 billion for a civilian climate corps? $10 billion.
Over 10 years.
A civilian.
$1 billion a year in a country with a $22 trillion a year economy. $1 billion a year for volunteer systems, non-governmental organizations, people fighting climate change, people like engineers. Okay.
In climate corps. What
is
exactly?
What is a climate corps? Do people actually do stuff to try and help? That's weird.
Might that be?
Yeah,
so
right.
I think what it is.
Well, don't think what it is. Look at what it is. You've got the information right there in front of you because you want to be informed. Bill.
They'll hire people to run around individual neighborhoods going, "It's hot. It's hot today."
Okay, that was a joke. Did you call up Dennis Miller and get that joke from him, or did you call and try to sell it to him and he was like, "Babe," and so he hung up on you and you just had to use it here? And so I know I'll call into Glenn's show. This is gold.
It's hot.
Okay. I wonder, Bill,
if you have a point.
What Stu? Do you remember the name of that civilian corps that I dressed up in lederhosen for when I was at Fox?
Yeah, you mean your Nazi uniform?
No,
it was on your cover of your book.
I just remember the lederhosen.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it was on this, and I was talking about.
Does everybody on his show and crew have a shellfish allergy?
What FDR did in the 1930s, and he took this youth civilian corps, and they went out to help nature and the national parks and everything else. And Obama talked about doing this. I wonder if that's not the promise fulfilled now from President Obama.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it's not what it says, and it's not what it actually would do, and it's not a bunch of kids running around. It's meant for, I'm sure there's going to be some tree planting. You can just go out there and just talk to this. They'll all be wearing uniforms, clearly with Black Power symbols on their chest.
Yeah, well, maybe $10 billion. And then there's
over 10 years.
Another $20 billion.
$2 billion a year.
See, this doesn't mean
less than that, because I think that part's over 50.
Anything. People go, 20 billion, 20 trillion, yeah. Well, when the dollar collapses, just remember this conversation.
Okay. All right, guys, put a pin in it. When the dollar collapses, we'll all come back to this moment when a government of a country that has a minimum economy of $22 trillion a year suggested spending 10% of that over 10 years on rebuilding the substructure of the entire economy. And that directly, of course, led to the collapse of the monetary system. I mean, never mind the fact that Moody's and all these Wall Street firms are like literally salivating because it's going to add 9.7 million jobs or some nonsense like.
All right, so $20 billion on bike lanes and pedestrian safety.
Right. For cities and suburbs.
All right, this is a federal bill.
Yeah, grants and stuff. They don't have to use it all if they don't want. Red states don't have to create them. They don't have to spend that money. It's allocated. If you really are against it, call your congressman. Say, don't take the money.
Bike lanes supposed to be in the county realm. You know, we have a
yeah, but they can't afford it. So the federal government's helping. So are fucking gas stations. Shouldn't that be private? But the federal government literally subsidized every gas station on the interstate highway system when it was built.
Bike lane
for fucking 20 years. They still do. We still subsidize oil based on the new need of it in 1955.
In Nassau County, where I am, but Biden is now designating $20 billion for bike lanes.
Yeah, we need
nationwide. How do you think this whole country? Well, I understand, Bill. You go 3 places. You go to your favorite restaurant where everybody knows that you're famous and you live nearby in Nassau County, whatever the shit that is. You stay home, and then you go to your lawyers to make the outlay payment of the $30 million to the woman you raped for years at Fox.
We need bike lanes. Hey, we need bike lanes.
You need a bike lane
on those interstate highways, and only the federal government can do those bike lanes.
Yeah.
This is part of the Agenda 2030.
Yeah, totally. I mean, these guys are all blowing smoke about what China is planning on doing in their country, but if we try to do it here, it's obviously communism.
Sustainable 2030 Act.
Sounds horrifying.
From the United Nations. The bike lanes are part of the Great Reset.
Oh my God, they're basically the bike lanes of the beast.
But what all this really is for those,
tell us what it really is, Bill.
Those who have the headphones on, okay?
Yeah, listening to Puff Daddy, right? Diddy.
This is a full socialism play,
right? But they don't know that. I mean, they're like grooving, and they can't.
That the federal government in Washington will come to your county, your town, and tell you exactly how many bike lanes you can have. What?
No, they won't. They literally don't. There is no way that's included in the bill. That's available funds for cities and counties to use if they want it. And they know that certain cities and counties want it, and they know that's baseline how much it'll cost to get it to the ones that want it. No one is driving out in the middle of fucking Tulsa and with government like trucks rolling into town. We're here to forcibly install your bike lanes.
What kind of bikes you can ride? All right.
No, as a matter of fact, anybody who sells bikes is going to make more money, because more people will be riding bikes because they'll feel safer doing so.
This is what they want.
Yeah, that's what they want. They're trying. It's really. I don't know if you know this, but George Soros has controlling interest in Huffy, and he's got this weird Jewish plot he's planning to bring back the banana seat. It's all right.
I thought it was really interesting that.
Yeah, well,
that after all of the stuff was broken down, that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and you got to give her credit, she's not a liar, she's not a deceiver. Okay, the Biden administration basically
Bill didn't, or Glenn didn't like that. Either that, or he's just somebody's pressing on his windpipe.
They deceive. All right, they'll never tell you the truth.
But never tell you the truth.
Ocasio-Cortez. Well,
I mean, they said they were going to get. It's true. I got to give Bill credit here, because Biden said he was going to get 1 million doses of the vaccine in arms on day 1 or on day 100 of his administration, and it's 2. It's over 2 now, and they're not even at the 100 mark. So it wasn't true. I mean, the truth surpasses the reality, but I take you.
Well, she goes, I hate this bill because it's not enough. It should be 10 trillion, not 2 trillion in infrastructure or 3, 10. Because this is what the socialists want. The government runs.
Well, then if the socialists want 10 trillion and Trump wanted 2 trillion and Biden wants 2.5 trillion, what the fuck are you whinging about?
Everything.
Everything.
Now,
yeah.
They have that in Europe. All right? They have that in Europe. And be happy, everyone listening to O'Reilly and Beck, or Beck and
No one's ever happy listening to both of you together.
O'Reilly is his show. All right? Right now, be happy you don't live in France.
Richard.
Because you can't come out of the house to get your croissant. It's locked down for 4 weeks. Why? Because the government...
Because Biden's not president and they don't have a vaccine plan? They're where we were when Trump was running things?
France is semi-socialist. They
Semi-socialist. That's the problem.
couldn't possibly develop a vaccine
Like Belgium did.
to do anything. So they don't have any vaccine. So therefore, the COVID-18 wave has swept over France.
The COVID-18 wave? COVID-18?
And Germany and Italy and the Netherlands and on. Because
I thought Sweden was totally open and you guys were supporting them.
they're socialist government.
No, they're not.
Whereby here in the capitalistic system, President Trump picked up the phone and said to the CEOs of
Said to the CEOs in our capitalist system, we, the government, will take taxpayer dollars and pay you ahead of time for a product you don't even have. What? I mean, that's literally more socialist. I mean, none of this is socialism, but you know, at least based on that, if that's your, there's got to be a socialism bell curve. What?
Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, whatever it may be, you get that back. We, the federal government, will buy it from you to the...
No, we paid for it ahead of time. We funded it. They used the money ahead of time to develop and produce the vaccine.
tune of billions of dollars, and we'll sign the contract right now.
Right. That you will be paid by the federal government and de facto, and you will provide it to us for a price that we set.
Presto! 7 months
Socialism in its own way.
later, there's the vax. So this is how capitalism works.
Yeah, the first batch arrived from Belgium. The first shots in arms went in England.
You see, there
You see?
are financial incentives to develop worthy things. Socialism never works because the government is so screwed up from top to bottom, it can't even put in a bike lane. A bike lane that would cost, I don't know, $100,000 by a local situation will cost the federal government $2 million. They can't.
Because the city will take all the funds they can get and borrow it, and there's a lot of local corruption. So when they use their own money, they're very frugal. When they have the federal government's money, they spend it like shit. And it's all right. And that's the federal government's problem. But yeah.
So
well, the reason why they can't do it is because you are so far away from decision makers. You know.
Yeah, that's what it is. Washington is so far away. You know what I mean? It's like letting Russia run the goddamn show. You know what I mean? What's the difference really between Washington, D.C. and the European Union or the UN running our lives? You know what I mean? It's not like representatives from the area knowing the local issues can't go to Washington, D.C., see what's in the bill and go, this is a good portion of this 60-40. This bill actually helps my constituents more than it hurts them. I'm going to vote for it in normal. No. They have to literally stand in lockstep against anything, even if it would help their local constituents because they represent them there directly, because Trump said so.
You know, when your town is involved, I can go to the town mayor. I know the mayor.
I'm sure you do.
You know, the mayor might be my neighbor, and I can go and go, what are you doing with all of this? This is way out of control.
And he can go, show up at the planning meeting. Get off my fucking property. We have rules here. If you weren't at the planning, if you want to go see them, go down to City Hall and look at the goddamn plans. We have every 6 months, we have a financial review, or every quarter. Come down and look at it. That's what he would say, not like, bike lane's a bike lane.
But you can't go to the government. And so
Yes, you can. Not only can you go to the government, ask for Freedom of Information Act, or even download or get the budget online, but you have representatives in government that go there and can tell you what's actually in shit. You can't go to the government, and Bill O'Reilly is reading the breakdown of the actual spending.
And so the graft and the waste is off the charts. I don't know if you noticed this, Bill.
Yeah, but not during Trump, though.
Bill, but unions are mentioned 24 times.
Jesus Christ. Unions. I mean, that's basically communism.
In this plan.
I know. I know.
This is,
and this is again,
you want to talk about the cost of things.
Yeah. People. Am I right? I mean.
Well, number one, the federal government doesn't care.
Nah, they don't care.
So they get
Right.
the money.
The federal government doesn't care because it's a big iron giant that lives in the sky.
I don't care if it's spent efficiently. We don't care. I mean, that's you going back to the Pentagon.
Well, why do they have reviews? Why do they have budget committees? Why do Ways and Means present how money's supposed to be spent, review how the money is spent, and then if somebody's found to be defrauding the government, why do those people go to jail? If they don't care.
In the $400 John seat.
Thanks, John. Oh, man. It's brutal, I have to say. Thank you, Beth. I view it as a civil service that I'm doing for the mental health of everyone else.
Okay, I don't care. All right, but number two,
Yeah, number two. That's the best description of your philosophical ideas and your understanding of general issues.
get a situation where the federal government is basically saying to the American people, trust us.
No, they're not. They're presenting a bill. This is how we're going to take tax dollars and spend it. We believe that it will help you. We know what people are asking for. This would be how much we would need to fix it. We know, like, lead pipes kill people and cause brain damage permanently. We'd like to get rid of those things. This is how much we think it will cost, and this is what we can do it for. And your representatives are here to talk back and forth and deal about how much they actually think, whether they think they can do it cheaper or not, or they have an idea on how to do it cheaper. They're welcome to bring it up.
We're going to run your life from the time you're born to the time you die.
What? Since when?
You don't need to really do anything. Just give us all your money.
Okay. Oh, I see. Right now, we're all black welfare queens from 1986 in Bill O'Reilly's mind. We all listen to Puff Daddy, and we all like, I'm getting my government check, y'all.
Everything that you earn, just turn over 60, 70% of it to us.
60, 70%? The fuck are you talking about? The bill literally talks about the corporate tax rate being 28%. And they still get a shit ton of write-offs.
We'll take care of it.
Where'd the 60 number come
I
from?
like wood.
Okay, get on a plane and go to Venezuela. See how
What?
that works out. Go down and visit Raul Castro in Havana. See how they're living down there. Yet,
See how France
one
had
more thing.
Go ahead.
80 million people voted for Biden. Yes, Biden lied to you. Yes, he said he was a moderate. He's not.
He is. Yeah, he is. If you present $2.25 trillion in infrastructure when we've just literally let shit die on the vine for years. We know how many bridges need fixing. We know that the Midwest doesn't have broadband, and the flyover states have been hurting for internet, hooking them up. And we know that all this stuff. None of this is a fucking surprise. The price tag's not a surprise. The need isn't a surprise. None of this. And what he's asking for is $250 billion more than your guy did, who was complaining that he couldn't ask for 3, by the way. And the extreme, what they consider the extreme of the party, asks for 10. He's not even meeting them halfway. A moderate, you could argue, was like, oh, well, she wants 10. I think we can do 5. I mean, we're going to pass it on our own, right?
Not. He's nothing. He's agnostic. Biden is nothing because he can't concentrate long enough to know what the deuce is going on.
A little projection there, Bill.
If he were a part of this conversation between me and you, Beck, if he
was part of this conversation with me, it is not a conversation. You guys are just blowing each other, and Biden would walk in and go, "I'll wait till you guys are done."
were the third, and you said to him, "Hey, Mr. President, with all due respect."
Oh shit! Bill just did Glenn's voice on him. Hey, Mr. President.
You're breaking the
Caught himself doing the funny Glenn Beck voice that he does.
bank here. All right, you're going to tax the country into a recession. Do you have any clue about that?
And he would go. He'd say what he said, which was, hold on one second. Investors. I'll just do it. Let's see. Biden infrastructure. Let's see. This was. I mean, I think he might get out of here. I think he might bring this up, Bill. Biden infrastructure clean energy plan may be a windfall for investors. Weekend reads. These investments can help you profit from Biden's $2.3 trillion spending thing. Biden approval high amid infrastructure tax hike push. S&P 500 rises lifted by tech shares close out best month since November. Friggin' commies, right? The Biden plan to build a modern sustainable $3 trillion in the ETFs to help you invest in the Biden infrastructure plan. This is where you want to put your money because you're going to make money in the capitalist system if you want to invest. 12 best. This is Kiplinger, for fuck's sake. This is like Forbes and like all these Dow Jones Industrial Average groups. 12 best infrastructure stocks for Biden's next big plan. Doesn't sound like a big socialism plan. It doesn't, does it? Look at this. Here's a bridge being built, and it's going to be private industry. Next initiative of Joe Biden's administration is widely expected to be an infrastructure plan. Infrastructure is generally popular with voters. Hatred of potholes and traffic gridlock seems to be one of the only things Republicans and Democrats can agree on. Maintaining America's place as the world's premier economy isn't something that just happens, says Chase Robertson of Houston-based RIA Robertson Wealth Management. It requires investment. Most of that investment comes from the private sector, but certain things, particularly roads, bridges, shared infrastructure, tends to be funded by the government, and the new administration has made it very clear that this is a major priority. The COVID relief bill will juice the economy in the short term, but its effects aren't designed to be long-lasting. It's a lifeline, not a long-term investment. And infrastructure on the bill, on the other hand, will actually lay the foundations for future growth. You know, the kind of stuff the communists are always talking about. Where would we be today if prior administrations hadn't built and expanded the interstate highway system or even the Panama Canal? Full socialism mode. Bill, you're a creep and a moron. Glenn, you're a weakling and you're stupid. Fix your shit.
He'd fall down the stairs. Americans who seek information, just remember this conversation. All right, so after all of the stuff was broken down, that Alexandria Ocasio picked up the phone and said to the CEOs of Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, whatever, nothing. He's agnostic.
Okay, so
we're going to move. Hold on. He doesn't know border policy. He doesn't know what Trump did. He doesn't know any of that.
Biden campaign border statement. Let's see. Let's go. Where's a good one? Go something that goes way back. Let's see. So let's go 2020. There's a
When you realize your trading firm
I
is
do realize. I realize. Hold on, wait till this commercial's gone, and then 3, 2, 1, and then. Don't.
Mr. Vice President, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being out here. Thank you for taking
How's
time.
that bus tour? You had a wild exchange this morning.
Well, that was actually a little bit of fun. We have a great bus tour. We've about 660 miles. We're going in day 6. We've had a couple thousand people show up. They're enthusiastic, and
Let's see if we can find where he says talks about
with crop cover, with dealing with absorbing carbon, with setting up. Well, for example, I know it's not going to sound good on television, but there's an awful lot of chicken manure in Delaware because it was a big area. There's an awful lot of hog manure and cattle. Well, guess what? We've learned now how to pelletize that, take out the methane, use it for energy, and be able to sell this pure stuff that is not damage the environment abroad. We're going to see little factories springing up all over this area. Or, for example, ethanol. Ethanol. The salaries ethanol plants are not $15 an hour, $45 an hour. They've generated significant economic income.
Let me ask you about one specific farm issue.
Sure.
Farm exports have been hurt by the trade war.
Passed.
So this is during the campaign last year. This is like 20 years ago. Hold on. The interviews.
On capital gains, clipping coupons, your money making money. The same rate you pay in your regular taxes, that raised about $200 billion. If, in fact, you eliminate a thing called stepped-up basis, which is not an inheritance tax, it's a tax owed 10 seconds before the person dies and leaves the non-tax, and that's about $40 billion.
That's one of the things that you guys tried and couldn't do under Obama.
No, but we can now because people, look, I'm going to be a little short here, but
good.
Once you come through, the Carney show comes through with the guy with the pea in the shell, 3 shells, and there's no pea under the shell, any one of them. Second time it comes around, they kind of figure it out. And so they know that.
Look at that. Biden using a 3-card Monty reference from no wonder I like the guy. By the way, I don't know that Bill O'Reilly and Glenn Beck could opine on the value of creating pellets from methane from chicken shit and pig shit and cow shit and selling it overseas as an energy export from factories that do that in Delaware and the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, that. All right? Somebody told them Trump's the devil. Kids were starving. You have to knock out everything Trump did in the border. And we had Stephen Miller on the No Spin News this week, and he just explained methodically, here's what Trump did, here's what Biden took off. And now we have this. So,
yeah, we what do we have? The normal surge, a smaller one than we had in 2019?
His people basically said, this isn't working out real well. So let's give it to Kamala Harris. Let's let her be in charge of it. This is great. So Harris wants no blanket part of this. Harris is smart
Yeah, she does.
enough to know. You're putting me in charge of this? So
I thought she was running it. Yes, I do have the good ice today. But I thought the whole idea was that she's running the whole show behind his back anyways. What part of the job wouldn't she want?
when the press asks Harris, are you going down to the border? Harris laughs. Actually laughs, this shrill Hillary Clinton-esque laugh.
Well, yeah, women laughing upset you because obviously there's a woman somewhere laughing all the way to the bank because you raped her for years, Bill.
All right? Kamala Harris not going anywhere. All right?
Well, her her office even came out and said, we want to make it clear, this is not her job. This is not what she's doing.
Right. And then the Biden people go, oh, no, there was a misunderstanding.
Since when?
We're putting her in charge of diplomatic efforts. So,
yeah.
Yeah. No. She's not going to go down and try to stop people from coming in. She's going to go to Honduras, okay, and give them $50 billion, to Honduras. Now,
we're not giving $50 billion to Honduras.
Did you notice that the brother of the
Seriously, we're not giving $50 billion to Honduras.
president of Honduras was convicted of drug dealing in the United States and sentenced to life in prison on Thursday? Did you notice that?
No.
No. So we're giving him $50 billion for his legal fees?
Oh, I didn't.
Back to
Are we?
The brother of the president
Okay, the brother.
of Honduras.
Jesus.
Vacations in Miami, which is insane. All right, the feds grab him, charge him with being a major drug trafficker throughout the United States and Central America. The jury convicts him. He gets sentenced to life in prison. This is the president of Honduras's brother.
And?
Okay, but we need to give that man, the president
of course
Honduras, $50 billion.
But see, like Glenn Beck's talking to you on the phone, and I don't think of Glenn Beck as somebody who categorically raped a woman over 10 years and had to pay her $30 million to be quiet, and had a series of other sexual assault and sexual harassment claims that you had to pay off over time that literally ate up a section of your salary at Fox, paying off part of it as part of agreements on their end.
Of course, we gave another family that's completely corrupt with brothers and sons. We gave him the key to the White House. Why not give $50 million?
Well, enough about Trump, though.
Or $1 billion to Honduras and that president.
Honest to God, I have to look this up. Hold on. $50 billion to Honduras. Mexican leaders, I 54, I mean, it's, January 23rd, 2021. Mexican leader says, when he's talking to foreign college, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, at a stream moment, okay, get out of here. Mexico's president said that Biden told him the U.S. would send $4 billion to help development in Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Wait a minute. First of all, Honduras is getting $50 billion. Now they were getting $4 billion. Now they're just splitting $4 billion with 3 other countries and Mexico. Nations whose hardships have spawned tides of migration. López Obrador spoke Friday with Biden by phone, said the two discussed immigration and the need to address the root cause of why people migrate. Mexico has stopped President Biden's call to Trudeau. Also, Biden told Trudeau that by issuing the order, he was following through on a campaign pledge. About the Keystone Pipeline. Yeah, sorry, kiss my ass. The White House said in a statement that Biden acknowledged Trudeau's disappointment with the Keystone decision. Biden's call with López Obrador also came at a tense moment days after the Mexican president accused U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration of fabricating drug trafficking charges against the country's former defense secretary. Let's see. Said the phone call was friendly and respectful. White House said Biden mentioned reversing the previous administration's draconian immigration policies. Biden signed the executive order to leaving the okay, so yeah. But I'm sorry, what nonsense were you talking about? No, this is it. Yeah.
They just have an awful lot in common, I think. Yeah, I am talking about Hunter. Yeah.
Okay.
What else would he be talking about? Of course he's talking about Hunter.